listening to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. 855-347-3696 is the number to call to speak to a living, breathing human being. 855-347-3696. Hey, by the way, tonight, Introduction to Longevity live webinar. If you are a longevity business builder, if you are a Dr. Glidden insider, call 3 people right now. Drop what you're doing. You don't need to talk to me. Call 3 people right now and invite them. Plead with them. Get on your knees. Beg them to show up at tonight's live Introduction to Longevity webinar. It will be one of the best gifts you can give them, is an introduction to longevity, because all that we do is pull back the curtain on why conventional medicine is so unbelievably bad and show people the wisdom of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. We're only doing the introductions, the live introductions, once a month now. We're only doing the live introductions once a month. Tonight is it. So call 3 people right now and invite them to tonight's Introduction to Longevity webinar, directed by yours truly, available only to Dr. Glidden insiders and their guests. Check it out, fireyourmdnow.com. Let's go to Mike in Virginia and talk about a spleen removal. Ouch. Hey, Mike, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, doctor, how are you?
Pretty good, man. So who had their spleen removed?
I had my spleen removed.
Was it, sickle cell anemia, or what was the deal?
Spherocytosis.
Oh, yeah, how'd you get that?
It's inherited. Hereditary.
Yeah, what's it called again?
Congenital spherocytosis.
Congenital spherocytosis. So how old are you?
I'm 52, doctor.
All right, and when did they take the spleen?
They took it in 88.
Okay, and how's your health been since? People without a spleen are prone to infections. How's that been going for you?
I've been doing excellent up here until recently.
Okay.
I've had nothing to complain about, and then I turned 50, and it's just started going downhill for me.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens, right? So, yeah, specifically, what started to go downhill for you, Mike?
Well, here just recently, my eyesight's been starting to go on me. I love to read, and I've noticed that I've had to keep, every week I'm moving the book farther back. So now I'm wearing reading glasses, but it's been a rapid thing. It hasn't been something that's gone over a year's period of time. It's like gone over like a month or 2.
Yeah.
And of course, I've gained a considerable amount of weight for some reason. I've gone up to I'm about 100 pounds overweight.
Oh yeah.
I heard your previous caller. I wish I was 210 pounds.
Well, all things being equal, we can help you to dial that in, because there's a reason why these things are happening to your body, and it seems like they're happening all at once, but really it's kind of like the chickens that have finally come home to roost. How about ringing in the ears or high blood pressure?
I do have ringing in the ears, but I have no high blood pressure.
Okay. How about restless legs at night in bed, or muscle tics and twitches, or cramps on a regular basis?
I do have restless nights because I've been diagnosed with sleep apnea, but I figured that was a reason for that. And I just recently, like I said, when my eyes started going on me, I've had lower back pain, extreme amount of lower back pain, but I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? So, and how about your just overall mood, energy, appetite?
Energy levels down. My appetite level's always up.
Yeah. Well, we would expect that, right?
But my energy level's down.
Yeah. So, all right. So, from like the fella said, right, from the proper perspective, everything makes sense. Everything comes into view. So, I don't think any of this has anything to do with your spleen. Honestly, I think that's just coincidental, and that happened, 20 years ago, right? I mean, it was a long time ago. I don't think this has anything to do with the spleen. Because what we see when people have had their spleens removed is if they tend to become problematic about that, it's a problem with the immune system mostly. It's mostly the immune system that becomes underactive and you're prone to infections. None of that's going on here. The low back pain, the restless nights, the sleep apnea. You don't really have sleep apnea, by the way. Sleep apnea is a physician-created disease. Nobody has ever died from sleep apnea. The only people that sleep apnea really bothers are the people that they're sleeping with. You know, your breathing stops and starts of its own accord relative to how much carbon dioxide is in your blood. Now that you've gained more weight, your metabolism is slowing way down, and so the carbon dioxide is going to take longer to manifest in your blood. Plus, you've got more blood because you're a bigger boy now. So you're going to stop breathing for longer periods of time than your body's used to, and that's just a normal thing. The low back pain is a calcium and a magnesium deficiency. The ringing in the ears is a calcium and a magnesium deficiency, and the most probable cause of progressive myopia like this, where you have to, put the book further and further away, is osteoporosis of the skull, which, sounds a lot worse than it is. Basically, it's my belief that you have had low-grade multiple mineral deficiencies for a long time, and they've kind of been building up and building up and building up and building up, and now, boom, all of a sudden the camel's back starts to break, right? One more straw, boom, was too much, and things start to go south, and things start to go south rapidly. Now, from our point of view, the only thing that makes people gain weight is they eat too many calories. It's the only thing. It's not genetic. It's got nothing to do with exercise. The United Nations proved that 2 years ago. It's got nothing to do with exercise. I mean, right? Nobody in Auschwitz or Dachau that was overweight, right?
Right.
I don't care what your pre-existing health condition was or what your genetic structure is or how many medications you've been on in your life. If you stop eating, you lose weight. Now, what makes people eat too many calories? What makes appetite just become a runaway train? Well, it's the wisdom of your body that does that, because your body knows it's nutrient deficient. Your body knows it's run out of vitamin A and vitamin B and vitamin C and calcium and magnesium and zinc. Your body knows that. It knows that things are starting to break. And so what does your body do? Your body forces you to eat in the desperate attempt to fill up its nutritional tank. The only problem is, and this is not your fault, it's that the food that you're eating doesn't have the vitamins and the minerals that your body needs. So you eat and you eat and you eat and you eat, and 3 hours later you're starving again. Not because you're lazy, not because you have the fat gene, not because your stomach's too big, not because of any fault of your own at all. That's your medical doctor's fault. Because I know what causes this, and you've heard the testimonials on this show. Well, I don't know how many you've heard, but we get them all the time. All that's necessary to help people secure normal and healthy body weights is to fill your body's nutritional tank up with the requisite amount of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, essential fatty acids appropriate for your body weight every day. And after a couple of weeks, once your body's nutritional tank is topped off, your appetite disappears. And once your appetite disappears, the recommendation to lose weight is to eat 1,200 calories a day or less. Now, if you try to eat 1,200 calories a day or less now, you couldn't do it because you'd be jonesing for food majorly big time bad because your body's still nutritionally starved. But when you fill your body's craving nutritionally, the calorie craving disappears. And so, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Well, it kind of is. It's an easy habit to get into once you get into the 1,200 calorie a day habit with a nutrified body. It takes a couple of weeks to kind of get into that groove. But once you're in that groove, man, it is smooth sailing. And the other thing here, Mike, and again, this isn't rocket science. One of the main things, if not the only thing that causes people to have no energy, is just chronic nutrient deficiencies. It's kind of like you're driving around in a 50-year-old automobile that's never been tuned up, right? It's got 50-year-old spark plugs. It's got 50-year-old spark plug wires. The engine oil's never been changed. The engine filter's never been changed. I mean, your car of your body needs a tune-up big time. And a lot of the fluids that are in the car, they're just running on fumes, man, and it's only a matter of time before the engine seizes now. So What you need is aggressive, science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. And what we should experience is your complaints should start to drop away in reverse order from when they showed up. So now the vision's a tough thing to kind of codify and measure unless you have one of those vision charts and you can sit across from it, 20 feet away from it and kind of read it every week and see if your vision improves. That's kind of a difficult thing for you to objectify, but, you can just be mindful of it. But certainly your energy should start to come back within 7 to 10 days, and the ringing in the ears should be remarkably reduced within 4 to 8 weeks. And then, you start to lose about 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds a week, and life is good because it's all connected here as far as we're concerned. So the recommendation for you to support and promote the structure and function of your body, given your current state of predicament, is it's easy, man. It's just going to be 2 Healthy Start Packs a month. 2 Healthy Start Packs. And I like the Healthy Start Pack 2.0. 2 Healthy Start Pack 2.0s a month, 4 bottles of selenium a month, and that's it. That's all you need. 2 Healthy Start Packs, 4 bottles of selenium a month. And do that just for 4 weeks and see what happens. Now, that takes care of the nutritional aspect of it. The other thing that we recommend everybody do is there are 10 foods that you need to stop eating and that everybody needs to stop eating. And you can get that list at my website.
Yes, I've read it.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, good, man. So eliminate the 10 bad foods. Just do 2 Healthy Start Packs, 4 bottles of selenium a month. Excuse me. Do that for 4 weeks, man. Give me a call back with a report. And just be mindful of what gets better first, right? Because everything's connected. Who knows? It might be your back pain, might be your sleep, might be your weight, might be your mood, might be your energy. I don't know. But something's got to give. And once we get improvement, we just stay on the horse, man. You just keep riding the nutritional horse until it takes you as far as it can. Mike, I appreciate the call and your trust. Now get out there and get your health back. Going to Michigan when we can. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, with another live edition of Fire Your MD Now. Coming at you live Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Central Time. If you're working or you just can't get away to listen to the live broadcast, the podcast is available 24/7 after the fact. And if you're listening to the podcast and would like to speak to someone about the health opportunity that we talk about or the business opportunity that we talk about, the number to call, 855-347-3696. Remember, tonight, for Dr. Glidden Insiders Only, Introduction to Longevity, hosted by yours truly, Dr. Peter Glidden. Invite your friends, invite your guests. I don't care. Invite your enemies. Fill the room up. Tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time, Introduction to Longevity. If you are a Dr. Glidden insider, get on the phone right now and invite. Let's go to Michigan now and talk to Dave. I think he's got something to tell us. Hey, Dave, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Dr. G, it's great to talk to you again. How you doing, man?
I am doing very, very good, Dave. What's happening, man? Bring us up to speed.
Well, I got to tell you, I was motivated to call in after hearing these last couple of callers about weight loss and, just the overall health concerns. I'm 54 years old. I'm legally blind. I have RP. I've been, slowly gaining weight, since about 93. I've worked out my whole life. I've always been very healthy, but my vision, sucked. Other than that, I really never went to the doctor, except for trauma. I fell back in November down my stairs carrying a big cabinet, thought I could do it myself. And that cabinet had other ideas, but shattered my talus bone, and they wanted to amputate my foot.
Ouch.
Yeah, so you guys saved me. I followed your protocol. I didn't do any weight loss program, but, we've been taking longevity, my wife and I, since April of 2011. And, we lost a little bit of weight, and we had energy increases, but, my wife's been struggling on, antidepressants and medication for 20 years, and, against my wishes, she, didn't know what else to do. She was taking it. The doctors, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
anyway, I gained over 100 pounds while I was, getting sedentary at home and still working out. Not really eating a lot, but I was a bread eater and pasta. And I'll tell you what, the 10 bad foods, they're real bad. And in February 15th, my wife had, an aha moment listening to your program. I finally got her to call you. She was the shopper, so, she bought the food for the house, and I ate, what was in the house.
Yeah.
So we stopped we don't eat any grain at all, only rice, organic brown rice now. We don't eat the, gluten-free products, but I lost 99 pounds since February 15th. My wife's lost 90 pounds. We didn't do any diets. We don't count calories. We eat when we're hungry. We eat good food, and we take longevity. And I got to tell you, I was doing the Healthy Start Pack, a couple of them. I weighed 307 pounds.
Wow.
I now weigh 208.
Wow.
And I'm still losing weight. And,
wow.
I feel fantastic. I told you I'm 54. I lost 60 pounds in a wheelchair. Because I'm legally blind, I didn't want to do crutches because it's too hard for me to get around.
Yeah.
So I was in a wheelchair in my house. I lost 60 pounds in a wheelchair because I was off the 10 bad foods that you gave me, okay? And, we're doing the 2.0. We still do the tangy, the BTT. But I make a drink in a 24-ounce stainless steel double wall container, no, BPA free. So I make 1 scoop of BTT. I do 1 scoop of the 2.0. I do 1 scoop of the powdered osteo, and then I pour a little bit of water in it, and then I shake it up, and then I open it back up, and I put in an ounce of liquid osteo. I put in an ounce of classic.
Wow.
I put in an ounce of. I hear the music, so it's kind of throwing me off. But
that's all right, Dave. You listen, stick around, buddy. We got tons of time. I want to talk to you more. And by the way, he kept his foot. Stick around, folks. The best is yet to come. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, coming at you live tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time, for Dr. Glidden Insiders only and their guests. Our monthly introduction to longevity webinar, Invite Baby, Invite. We're talking to Dave in Michigan about a remarkable testimonial. So, Dave, the talus bone, by the way, that you broke is a bone in your foot. What did you do? Did you drop that chest of drawers on it, or how'd that happen?
Well, I tell you, I was, I'm a kind of a prepper, a conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones guy. That's where I first heard you, by the way, and I've been listening to you ever since. But, I was carrying this 6-foot solid oak cabinet down my basement, and I have the stairs are kind of in a narrow hallway, so I couldn't tip it back on a dolly to get it down the stairs, normally. So, here's me, I'm a big, strong guy, I got in the stairwell backwards, and I curled it a couple times, picked it up and thought, okay, I got this. I was going to lean it back against the wall and then try and slide it like a sled down the stairs. My daughter was home pregnant, and she was crying. She said, oh, my God, Dad, don't do that. You can't do that. I said, okay, honey, you got to go in your bedroom, and because I can't do this with you standing here crying. I sent her in a room, and I'm telling you, Doc, I picked that sucker up, and the next thing I knew, boom, 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 13 steps down them stairs, man. I think I flew in the air, but I hit the cement floor with my heel. Ouch. And I had a compound fracture in the talus bone, and it was dislocated 2.5 inches out of the socket. She called the EMS. They come out, and it was a man and a woman. and I was, close to 300 pounds, and they wanted to carry me up on the stretcher. I said, you got to be kidding me. You guys ain't carrying me up. I said, you stand that cabinet up and get it out of the stairwell. I crawled up, spider crawled back up the stairs.
Wow. They
put me on the gurney. They said, here, let me give you some morphine. I said, I don't do drugs. Don't get that stuff away from me, So my daughter and I get in the ambulance, and I got a 300-foot long driveway. We pull out onto the road, and they're turning the wrong way. I'm like, where are you going? Oh, we're going. It's shorter. I said, yeah, but it's dirt road for like 10 miles. You're not driving me down that road. Back up and turn around, take the paved road. So they did. They listened to me, and they backed up. As soon as they turned back out on the road, the pain set in. I said, oh, my God, give me that morphine.
Yeah, man, that's a rough. Now, it was not healing, of course, and so they thought they were going to have to cut your foot off.
Well, actually, it was the next day after I went 12 hours. I went to one hospital. They tried to set the brake. They messed it up. They sent me to another hospital. They tried to set the brake, and then they came and told my wife, we can't set it. He needs to go into surgery. So this happened at like 11:30 in the morning, and by 11:30 that evening, they were putting me in surgery. 2.5 hours later or so, I was waking up in a room, and they were asking me questions, and they said, here's your button to push when you want morphine. So I figured it was a button to call them to come and give me morphine, right? So I don't push the button. They come in it's like 2, 3 in the morning, and the next morning when it got light, they came in, and one of the surgeons came in and said, how come you're not pushing that button? I said, I thought, how do you know I'm not pushing the button? He says, well, you got a pump, and whenever you want morphine, it's going to go into you. I says, well, guess what? I don't have any more pain. Since you fixed it, I don't have pain. I said, so how do I heal this thing? He says, well, you got an 80% chance that you're going to have that foot amputated because it's not going to heal. There's very little blood flow to that bone and blah, blah, blah. I said, so how do I even those odds, Doc? He looked at me and he said, nutrition. And I looked at the plate of food next to me, the hospital food. I said, you mean with this? And he laughed, and he left the room. Wow. So that day, the wife brought me all my, my longevity stuff that I'd been taking, just a healthy start pack. And the glucogel had just come because she was suffering from some hip pain, and she couldn't lift up her leg to tie her shoe. She would cry. She had to grab her pant leg to get into her Explorer to go to work. She was in severe pain. And I finally got her, okay, order this glucogel. I've been hearing you guys talking about it, and we hadn't called you or anything. And so the day that I went in the hospital, the glucogel came. And she started taking it, and I started taking it. And I was in the hospital, I think, for 5 days. When I got home, I was sitting in the kitchen in a wheelchair, and she's doing knee raises in the kitchen, showing me, look what I can do. And she's laughing. No more pain, no more tears. I said, you got to be kidding me. 5 days? They wanted to do surgery on your hip, and now you're laughing? She says that the pain is completely gone.
I tell you what, Dave, I mean, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. I mean, you lost 99 pounds, your wife lost 90 pounds. Now all of a sudden the hip pain's gone. You didn't have to have your foot amputated.
Right.
I mean, this is the best thing to happen to medicine, honest to God, since the invention of the sterile technique, man. And, your testimony, your wife's testimony, your willingness to call here, your open-mindedness, these are all testaments to the type of individuals that you are. And look, the type of individual that you are is the majority of people in the United States, but people just don't know about this, right? Most people in the United States are honest, hardworking, open-minded people, and they just don't know. If they knew what you knew, then they would do what you do. And this is why we're on a mission here to enroll and to show as many people as is humanly possible.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to tell you, I love you. I love your show. We listen to you every single day, no matter what we're doing, because we call the listen line. we got a phone with us all the time. I live on 10 acres now, and I keep my phone on my shoulder. I'm listening all day long to GCN. And, you know, Doc Wallach, you guys are awesome. I love it, and I love your attitude in your knowledge. I just can't say enough about, you know, I never thought I'd be sitting around listening to a doctor on the flippin' telephone, you know, but I am gaining so much knowledge from you guys, and it's so simple. The first time I heard Dead Doctors Don't Lie, it was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is so elementary, you know?
I know.
And
I know.
People,
it's like the gates of heaven open up, and all of a sudden I mean, you know, the wool from your eyes falls, and you can see, and it is a remarkable thing. Now, Dave, I got to let you go. I got another call here, but I want to challenge you, man. You know, it's great that you're an avid, devoted listener. I want you to get 10 people in your life to be avid, devoted listeners. Enroll, enroll, enroll. Tell everybody in your world what we're up to, man, and let's change the world together. My hat goes off to both you and your wife. Keep up the good work, Dave. And thank you so much for the call. Let's go to Jimmy in Detroit now, who's, I think, has a question about elbow arthritis. Hey, Jimmy, thanks for waiting. You are live.
Hi, Doctor.
What's going on, Jimmy? How can I help?
Well, a friend of mine at work, we ended up having a conversation, and I don't know how it happened, but health and nutrition kind of came up. And he mentioned he had arthritis in his elbow, so I gave him some CM cream to rub on it, and it killed the pain for him for about 4 days. Just one application. So he's kind of interested in the product.
Jimmy, I wonder how that conversation started. Come on, man, give yourself some credit. You wiggled your way right into that conversation, and God bless you for doing it.
So I found out he's got a real problem with shellfish.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got the arthritis, and I know it's generally a bone and joint pack. So I know we got the shellfish-free Healthy Start pack. But I'm concerned about the glucogel, and I think I heard somewhere along the line Fucoid Z could be used, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, nobody is sure, really, because there isn't really an analog that's as good as glucogel is. I mean, glucogel is hard to beat. And for people that either have, you know, religious aversions to shellfish or they actually have an allergy to it, it's a really tough nut to crack. It's a tough thing to work around. One thing that Dr. Wallach used to recommend years ago, before they came out with glucogel, is he would just tell people to go get gelatin. He would tell them to go to the supermarket and get a couple of boxes of Knox, I think it's called Knox gelatin. You know, eat a thing of gelatin every day. I don't know what that tastes like. I don't think it's very good.
I actually added it to my coffee for about 4 months to kill my lower back pain from a ruptured disc.
Well,
it worked.
Well, there you go. I mean, so that's one thing that you can do. Now, let's not overlook the obvious, because sometimes, you know, in a perfect world, we do the glucogel, absolutely, positively, because you just want to kind of load the deck on your behalf, right? But what you can do if there is a glucogel intolerance is you can just go overboard with the plant minerals or the white liquid calcium. So, you know, you'd give the Healthy Start Pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight, and then extra white liquid calcium and extra plant minerals, and just see what happens. I've met, I don't know, I'm making up numbers. I'm not going to say hundreds because I don't know if it is hundreds. I've met lots of people who have told me that they had a remarkable positive turnaround with their arthritic pain just with the plant minerals. That was all that they did. Just the plant minerals. They didn't do anything else. No calcium, no nothing, just the plant minerals. So you never know, right? I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Sure.
The most important thing to do, though, Jimmy, is, you know, we have to make sure that if we're going to be giving somebody, you know, our phase 2 program instead of phase 1 because of the glucogel thing, we want to, again, load the dice in our favor. And so for these people that can't tolerate glucogel, and we don't really have a workaround for that yet, then just advise them that they really, 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 really need to be gluten-free in order to, you know, increase the chances of this being effective. So,
well, he was definitely getting the good food, bad food list along with everything else.
Yeah, all right, good. So, you know, try some extra plant minerals and then try some extra calcium for 4 weeks. And if that doesn't cut the mustard, or if it only takes them, 50, 60, 70% of the way, then the Knox gelatin, man. And, if anybody in Radio Land has a recipe to make that stuff taste good, call us, because I need to know. You put it in your coffee, Jimmy?
Added it to my coffee every morning.
Wow. I bet the coffee was thick like mud, right?
No, because it's hot. It just didn't spill. If you left it sitting there and it cooled off, it didn't spill when you knocked it over.
Jimmy, you're the greatest, man. I never, ever, ever would have thought to do that. I'm going to start to populate that idea in the longevity community, man. That was worth the whole 2 hours of this radio show for me today, Jimmy. Really, really, really good advice, man. I'm going to take that one to heart. Go out there and make a difference, buddy. And remember, introduction tonight. So get on the phone and invite, because this is how we are going to change the world, one person at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine if the people that had called in with the testimonials today and last week and, the whole time we've been on the show, can you imagine if nobody ever told them about longevity? Can you imagine what their lives would be like? I'll tell you what their lives would be like. Pain and suffering to the power of 10. Want to make a difference in your life? Make a difference in somebody else's life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We're finishing it up with Matt in Ontario when we come back. Stick around. So, what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that your MD is clueless about anything having to do with healing, and that the best possible thing you can do is fire them. Fire them now. And instead, line yourself up with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. For goodness sake, you have no idea what you're missing. Let's finish out today's show up in the Great White North. Let's go to Ontario and talk to Matt. Hey, Matt, thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glenn. Matt Woods calling. How are you doing?
What's going on, Matt? How can I help?
Originally, I called you several months ago about anxiety, and at the time, I didn't have the money to do more than a month back then, so I pre-ordered 2 months. But what I'm calling to you right now is about a secondary health concern, and it's actually a little different than most people ask. It's about exercise. I've been working out, lifting weights for a long time, and I haven't been able to, progress forward since I was age 20, and I'm age 40 now. In fact, I hit my best. I know I was younger, of course. I mean, you're 20 years old, but I started receding backwards and losing muscle gradually, slowly over, from then till now kind of thing. I'm about probably 30 pounds off what I used to be. And let me just give you a few background information, okay?
Yeah, real quick.
I think that perhaps I have a problem absorbing food. I can eat forever and I never feel satisfied. Mm-hmm. The supplement regimen I'm going to be starting soon is 2 healthy start packs, 1 Cal Toddy, 1 de-stress. I'm avoiding 10 bad foods, salting food, butter. I just got tested for celiac. I don't have the results yet. I've got a new symptom for the head. I get lots of gas, occasional moderate to severe abdominal pains, bloating, difficulty going washroom. Not really constipated per se because it comes out like soft stool.
Well, all right, so I'm up against the clock, right? So the first thing to consider here with the digestive issues, right, is that you have to just stop eating all the 10 bad foods, including gluten, and that should play itself out over time. It should slowly melt away like ice in the springtime. Okay. The other thing to consider is when you're working out and you hit a wall or you start to slip backwards, the most reasonable thing to assume is that it's just a nutrient deficiency thing, right? Because the intention and the purpose of exercise is to stress your body. So you rip up muscle fibers when you lift the weights. You put stress on your heart, stress on your lungs, stress on your joints, stress on your blood vessels during exercise. And then post-exercise, the body attempts to fix and strengthen the muscles that you just ripped apart and stressed and everything else in the body that you stressed, right? But in order to fix it and to make it stronger, the body needs raw materials. It needs minerals. It needs amino acids. It needs vitamins. And nobody has the requisite amount of minerals, vitamins, and amino acids in their body because those things are not in the food. They're just not in the food.
Yeah.
You could eat the best diet in the world and you would still be nutritionally deficient. So I think, really, Matt, I think that the only secret sauce for you here, because I can tell by your voice you're motivated, I can tell by the plan that you've put into place that you're smart, really the game changer for you is going to be filling up your nutritional tank with the appropriate amount of stuff every day. And it's going to take, I'm going to say it's going to take 4, 5, 6 weeks for your tank to be topped off before you start to experience, noticeable, measurable improvement in the exercise arena. There should be noticeable and measurable improvements in your mood and your energy and your sleep and everything else into the bargain. But really, man, I honestly think that this is just a nutritional supplement thing that needs time to manifest in your life. And this is, I think, one of the hardest things for people to understand about holistic medicine, because it's a process, right? It's a process. We got to give it time. You can't force the tomato, right? You can't force the nut to pop out of the seed. You just got to give it time and patience. We got to be smart. Time, patience, and smartness, and time, patience, and smartness, and it's going to pay off for you. So get on board with the Full Boat program. Give me a call every 2 to 3 weeks with a report. I will look forward to that. Keep up the good work, Matt. I appreciate your trust. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for me today. If you're a Youngevity guy, if you're a Dr. Glidden insider, if you're a Youngevity gal, if you're a Dr. Glidden insider, invite. The webinar tonight for Dr. Glidden insiders and their guests. Introduction to Youngevity. Invite. I'll see you all there, God willing, 8 o'clock Central Time, and right back here in the saddle tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time for another live edition of Fire Your MD Now.